With 1 day of assessments down and 2 to go, 40 drivers are battling it out to prove why they should be picked in the F1 Esports draft in London. And you know what, if they thought yesterday was difficult, they better hold on tight, because today is going to be no different. We're here at the glorious Silverstone F1 circuit in Northamptonshire, and I'm glad to say that I am joined by my one and only best teammate, Matt Gallagher. Lovely to see you, we're back.
Good to see you, mate.
How are you feeling?
I'm so excited. The sunny Silverstone. I mean, we don't see much sun, do we really? And seeing these guys going hammer and tong, and not only racing, but some other challenges today as well. I cannot wait.
Day one started with a bang. 40 of the world's best esports drivers arrived at Silverstone. Once they were all numbered up, they took up the first challenge, sim racing, where they would compete in F1 2017 by Codemasters.
Sends him the dummy. Lovely move there.
Tino Naukarinen was probably the surprise package of the day, but it was Finnish driver Johnny Tormala who stormed to victory in the challenge. Then it was the first of our team challenges, as the drivers were split into teams of 10 and took on an F1 quiz.
I just realized we have 5, that this is 5th and this is like 6th.
Oh, what?
Going the wrong way. Yeah, this is 5th.
And whilst Group 1 contained many of the strongest individuals from the sim challenge, the results of the quiz were about to leave them a little baffled. All right then, Matt, this is the exciting moment. We're gonna have the results for the quiz challenge. One of these groups, I have to say, and I'm not laughing about it, you did really badly. Considering they were very clear with this, it was a point for the part of the track, the name for that, and also which circuit you will find it on. So it was about instructions. I can already hear from Group 1, who I'm going to come to you right now. Out of a maximum of 16 points, Group 1, you scored 8. So you smashed it, but you missed out on another 8 points. No!
No,
do not clap that.
no.
Obviously, guys, I know you're taking this in a light-hearted way, but you can't really. This is serious stuff if you want to get drafted by these F1 teams. Right, then we move on to the second place team, which is, I can reveal, with 14 points out of 16. I'm looking at everybody's faces to get more tense. It's Group 3. Congratulations, gentlemen. 14 points out of 16. Which means with both teams getting 15 points out of 16, it was Group 2 and Group 4. So joint winners of this quiz-based challenge. Congratulations, gentlemen. If Group 1 had listened to the instructions, they may not have left out half the answers. But well done, Groups 2 and Groups 4. Two of the men of the winning quiz teams and looking to make an impact in the pro draft were Olli Pakala and Sebastian Job.
I'm Olli, I'm from Finland. I like to do stuff. Been liking doing that stuff for 28 years.
The hips are the most important part in racing. Flexibility.
You're quite an eccentric character, very energetic. Is that fair to say?
Yes. I mean, I've been trying to grow my mustache for 2 years now, so I thought I'd salute Keke Rosberg, or the good old Finnish F1 driver.
I love motorsport. I've been watching it since I was like 5 years old, because my dad watched F1. I was a big fan of Hamilton at the time. I remember crying when he missed out on the championship. Yeah, I was quite young, so it was a traumatic experience. So I started doing online racing when I was 13, because I was doing go-karting. It wasn't really going anywhere. So I decided to go on iRacing and got really hooked on that.
I think my F1 story started when I was really young. My family, my dad were really into F1, and every single Sunday you sit down, watch an F1 race, have fun, cheer for Mika. Kind of like came into our family cultures. It was expensive. We didn't find the budget, so we didn't have the funding to commit to a Formula 1 career.
It's just nice to meet everyone that you've been talking to online. Been speaking to Graham Carroll since I think I was 14, and I'd never met him until like fairly recently this year.
I've been chatting with every single driver here, and we've been having so much fun throughout these 3 days. I really much respecting all the drivers on the grid here, all 40. But you need to make difference somehow. So I know at the end of the day, every single one driver from the 40 can win the championship.
Matt, in this era of F1, strategy is so important when it comes to winning and losing races, especially when we look at the pit. Now, Williams, notoriously an incredibly fast team. I think they hold the record. Pit challenge right now for the drivers. Will they be trying to emulate Williams?
Well, 1.92 seconds, pretty difficult to achieve, but these guys, they're going to find it difficult because it's probably the first time they've ever done it. These haven't been around for many years, and it's a very difficult thing to do. That's why the teams practice it over and over and over. Away from weekends as well, they do it at their own factories. So these guys have a challenge on their hands.
Yeah, they have indeed, especially in this heat. Listen, the F1 teams, what will they be looking for in the drivers?
It'll be teamwork, communication, being able to deal with adversity as well, because you don't want them throwing the wheels. Well, the wheels are pretty heavy, so I hope they don't throw them. The nuts, you know, they'll go flying as well. But I think it's just keeping calm, being able to chat to each other, and it's all about teamwork and communication for me.
Indeed. Well, let's find out how they get on. The drivers were split into teams of 3, and each team had to change 2 tyres on a model of an F1 car, racing against the clock. One man will work the wheel gun, with the other 2 responsible for unloading and reloading each of the tyres. The teams with the fastest times would qualify for the knockout stage, with a head-to-head format then deciding the ultimate winners.
3, 2, 1, go!
The challenge got underway, and despite the difficulties of the task, some teams picked it up very well.
It just clicked from the beginning, so.
Should be proud, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's just teamwork, to be honest. Yeah, awesome fun.
Wasn't very good at it. It's clearly not the career path, but it's good fun though.
Was good, second best time. So I'm always pumped.
After several heats, we had 2 groups that made it to the final. Group 3, consisting of Cem Bullock-Bassi, looking to make up for a disastrous quiz challenge, Germany's Jan Feller and Dutchman Floris Vyers. They would face Group 9 of Mr. Consistent Patrick Holtzman, fellow German Simon Weigang and Isaac Price.
Pit stop challenge finalists, get ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
The final got started, and the winners would be whoever could change a tyre quickest after 2 attempts. So, 4 tyres would be changed in total, but only the fastest time would count. You get the idea. Matt and I tried to commentate on this, but our sound man forgot to pack the pit stop proof microphones, so I'll explain what happened. Group 3 started well and recorded a time of 16.411 seconds. Heat 2 began, and you could feel the tension between the teams as Group 3 struggled with their first tyre. Group 9 looked strong and thought they had done enough to win the challenge. So, Heat 1. Group 3 finished with 16.411 seconds and Group 9 with 19.3 seconds. Heat 2 and Group 3 finished with 18.42 seconds, and Group 9 finished with 16.495, but their time was invalid as it was deemed the wheel was not on securely, meaning Group 3 were the Pit Stop Challenge winners. So, Group 3 are the Pit Stop Challenge winners. Well done to Cem Bullock-Bassi, Jan Feller and Floris Vyers. Group 3, epic final. Gentlemen, how are you feeling after that challenge?
Awesome. Awesome, it was very exciting. It's great to be the winners.
We had an issue on the second try where it was not just screwed enough, I think. So when we were there, I just finished that tire and then came back in. I think that kind of saved us as well. So yeah, there was some great teamwork.
We just set each other the negatives and make it a positive way to learn from it. So just be positive and look where we are.
Another factor the teams wanted to look at was the fitness of these drivers. They were tested on a variety of fitness challenges and then undertook what many F1 drivers do and took part in a reaction test.
Yeah, this is the fun bit.
Blam, 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 done it.
All the drivers had completed the task except for one, with Jan Feller leading the way with 3,787 points. stepped forward Mr. Kimi Larsson.
I'm like a happy guy, like an energy guy. I have a lot of energy, so the fitness part should be my strongest part, and I should smash it.
So Kimi sits clear at the top of the table, beating his nearest rival by a whopping 495 points.
My dad used to work at the F1. He started 2001 at the Sauber team. He was head of the aerodynamics at the Sauber until 2010, and he got a call from Ferrari, which wanted to sign him. We moved to Italy, to Fiorano in Modena, in the home time of the Ferrari. So yeah, that was really special. Since I was 7 years old, I started go-karting, and since then I've been racing competitive in the top league of the go-karts, and I came up to the basic Formula, the Formula Renault 1.6 I was competing in, and I won the championship, which was a really great achievement for me. I've been doing also sim racing. It's been like a natural thing, just switching from the real life racing to the sim racing, and it's just amazing how esports has also developed, and they have been growing so big as well, and yeah, it's incredible. Now here at the F1, it's like a dream come true.
We've concluded the team challenges, and before the last individual challenge gets underway, we wanted to pick out a few of the front runners in this year's Pro Draft.
Tom, I've gone around taking pictures of all the drivers, and I thought it'd be a good chance for us to have a look through and see who stood out.
I wondered why you were taking those pictures, but look, you did get a Polaroid camera for Christmas, you may as well use it. So you've taken a picture of the drivers, done a fantastic job.
People that stood out, Cembot Bassi, what a guy. He smashed pretty much every single challenge, apart from the quiz. When it comes to the pit stop challenge and the reaction, he was right up there, won the pit stop challenge.
In terms of athletic people running about, not only his reactions, but also...
I already know who you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Kimi Larsson was fantastic. It looked like he was about to do the 100-metre Olympic final before the challenge started. Unfortunately, they had a few problems with the wheel thread getting it on. But Kimi was great. You know, he showed some great enthusiasm, some great energy, and I think that's something that the teams will definitely be looking for.
I want to talk about this guy, Graham Carroll. What have we made of him so far? He's someone who's able to find a flaw in the rules and try and push it to the limit, isn't he?
Graham's great. He's got a great energy about him. He's got a good banter, but he really wants to win. Like, his competitive nature really came out in the pit stop challenge, where they were told not to put their foot on the platform, so he was hovering it, getting ready to go.
I'm here to win, mate.
I'm not touching it. Technically, I'm not touching it, so it's fine.
I knew the Scottish accent would come out, but Graham's great. You know, he really showed some good energy as well. And I think at this stage, you know, he's just keeping calm. You don't want to stand out for the wrong reasons during these challenges, and it's an overall performance. It's not standing out just with one. And Graham, he was probably in my top 9 for that.
Well, I don't want to put too much pressure on you, because I don't want to talk ill of this guy. I'm a massive fan of his.
Same.
We know how good he is, but he hasn't been able to prove that, has he, to the F1 team so far?
No, and I think that's the beauty of this season of F1 Esports. It's not just racing on a sim, it's showing your teamwork, it's showing how cool you are under pressure. And Fabrizio, he is a nice guy, and I think that he was relatively calm, but it's just not getting the results. And that's where you've got to show in the other challenges. Okay, maybe the pit stop challenge didn't go so great. Okay, what about karting? What about the other challenges that are on offer? And Fabrizio has got more than enough time to save it. There's more to come, I'm sure.
Okay, I'm going to go in on another driver, because I know that you won't. Jonni Tomala. Talk to me about him. Obviously winning the sim challenge. Pit stop challenge and reaction challenge, do you feel like he's taken his, excusing the pun, taking his foot off the gas in terms of other challenges?
At the end of the day, they have to be quick on the sim, and he's proved that he's looking really good. But we'll see how he picks himself up.
Well, there you go. Keep these pictures safe for you, because I want them at the Pro Draft Day, all right?
I'm glad it's not windy, that's all I'm saying.
Whilst all of the other challenges have taken place in Silverstone, as much as we'd like to film there today, we can't, because apparently there's a big race involving Lewis and some of his mates. So what we decided to do is to come here to the nearest go-karting track to let these drivers put their sim experience into practice.
I actually haven't raced in cars in my life. Give me a simulator and I can give better results.
Good morning, everybody. Today we are at the Daytona Milton Keynes doing some go-karts. I've been looking forward for this for the whole week. We're gonna have a blast over there.
There is a sweet smell of sweat here. The fear and nerves have got to them. They're going to be hot in these outfits. And what I like about this professional sort of F1 driver here from Graham Carroll, not even putting it all on. You don't do that until you're about to get into the car, right?
It's roasting here, you know.
Yeah,
so I just keep
it's the heat.
Keep it nice and cool, ready to go, so we're not too warm.
The path to the F1 Pro Draft hasn't been the easiest of journeys for some, and for none more so than Northern Ireland's Nathan Moore.
I have a condition called ankylosing spondylitis, and it's a form of arthritis. So I would have inflammation in my joints, etc. My back pain, on my arms, my knees, etc. My foot as well. This condition is the reason I had to pull out of my A-levels first time round, and then I went and did them again. So during that time, while I was getting, going to hospital appointments, etc. It was a painful time, but through that, I've remained positive throughout the whole time, and it's not holding me back anymore. It's going to be a challenge for sure, but to be amongst the top 40 in the world at F1 Esports is it's an incredible privilege to be here. I've only been league racing or so for about a year, so I haven't got too much experience, but just to have any F1 team to sign me would be an incredible honour and an absolute privilege.
So here's how the Go-Kart Challenge worked. The drivers were split into 2 groups of 20. Each group would have 2 10-minute races, with points being awarded at the end of each race based on finishing positions. After 2 races, the top 20 drivers with the most points would race in a final. Look out for Dominic Hoffman. Such a pro, he brought his own helmet. Chen Bullock-Bassi and Kimi Larson are all strong contenders, and Lucas Blakely has lots of karting experience. And they were off, and Carroll made a great start with Tino Naukarinen, who was lucky not to collide with Nesta Garcia. Flores Baez spins off and Chamberlain-Bassi hits him. Fabrizio Delgado getting caught up in the chaos, but he recovers very quickly. Cedric Thome then getting the better of Nathan Moore into the corner, but Karma catches up with him and he spins out. Fabrizio Donoso curbs it to receive a warning. Moments later, Flores Baez again in trouble, but this time it's with the officials. That looks like his race is over. Out in front, Graham Carroll still holding off Dominic Hoffman. Chen Bullock-Bassi gets the better of Freddie Rasmussen before getting a knock from Fabrizio Donoso. Dominic Hoffman fighting all the way to the end, and it was neck and neck to the line, but it was Scotland's Graham Carroll who took the checkered flag in both heats. Maximum points awarded to Graham Carroll, then Dominic Hoffman came home in second in heats 1 and 2, so ends the heats with 58 points. Freddie Rasmussen will be pleased with third overall. Group 2 lines up like this. Rosario Sinacori will start in pole position, having qualified with the fastest time. He leads countryman Gianfranco Gigoli. Patrick Holtzman and Sebastian Job will also be ones to watch in this race.
I'm really looking forward to go-karting. That's one of my strengths, I hope so.
Group 2 were raring to go and they were off, charging into turn 1. Italy's Rosario Sinacori led the way ahead of countryman Gianfranco Gigoli and James Doherty. Triumph soon turned to tragedy as the leader hit the tyre wall. James Doherty took the lead. It was a nightmare for Sally Soltunk spinning off. But not as bad as Alexei Korsman, who had such a big off, he had to wave his own yellow flag. The battle for first place continued, but a slip-up by Gianfranco Gigoli caused him to hit the gravel. Sebastian Job took the lead in heat number 2. Alec van der Waal and Lucas Blakely playing bumper cars. But in the end, it was Sebastian Job who held off James Doherty to take the win in both heats. Sebastian Job walks away with maximum points, with James Doherty closely behind him. Gianfranco Gigoli took third overall, and Lucas Blakely and Amos Laurito round out the top 5. So, through to the final then, and the battle at the front will be a good one between Graham Carroll and Sebastian Job. James Doherty and Dominic Hoffman will be looking to win their first challenge.
or maybe Kimi Larsson or Freddie Rasmussen will surprise everyone. It was the battle to end all battles. Graham Carroll starting off in pole, Sebastian Job in second, and Dominic Hoffman with the yellow helmet in third. The final got started and Carroll was straight out of the blocks, Hoffman jumping up into second. It wasn't long before Dominic got his elbows out to take the lead. Freddie Rasmussen caused a huge pile-up. He won't be very popular. James Doherty pushed past Sebastian Job into third. Hoffman led Carroll, who led Doherty, but right on his tail was Cembulik Bassi, who made a dive up the inside to snatch third place. Dominic Hoffman, a clear winner from Graham Carroll in second.
Well, listen, guys, I think it's fair to say that we've enjoyed an amazing day of racing. I hope you've enjoyed it too. I can see some smiles on your faces, a few disappointments knowing you could have done a better lap perhaps, but listen, we come down to the moment where we have a top three, and I'm about to announce in third place, who's going to join me in the podium for a quick chat. Matt, you legend. In third place, it's Cembulik Bassi. How are you feeling after that race?
Yeah, I was hoping for a podium, so it went well. I'm here. Be happy with the day as well. Quite exciting, quite fun, very enjoyable at the same time.
Oh, well, you literally smashed it, Cem. Well, listen, congratulations. Third place. Second place is the one and only Mr. Graham Carroll. It was neck and neck at points.
I think the first two heats kind of were fair game. The karts were very similar, but the final, he's a lighter and his karts were a bit better, so he took off and fair play to him, he'd done a good job, you know.
Yeah. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium finish. In first place, Dominic Hoffman. Congratulations, buddy. Dominic, did you enjoy the race? Give us a lowdown on how you felt throughout.
Yeah, the first two heats were like, I was pushing it because I felt that my car was a little bit slower on the straights, but I knew that in the final that there was going to be a good car, and that I would just have to bide my time, and got past sooner than I expected actually, and then it was, yeah, I knew that if I just kept it on the track it was going to be quicker, so yeah, quite very happy with the result of course.
Well, I myself and Matt thought you did an amazing job today, all three of you. Gentlemen, these are your top three drivers today, but I just want to announce as well, the fastest lap time also went to Mr. Dominic Hoffman, the only person to get it under 1 minute 10, so we can all give him a massive round of applause. And also a round of applause for you gentlemen as well. Congratulations.
So, with all the physical challenges out of the way, the drivers just faced one last task. They would be interviewed by the actual F1 teams. Who would crack under pressure and who would shine through?
I think your name's on a number of people's lists.
And the tension is palpable as the F1 teams make their way to London to make that all-important decision, their F1 picks.